Hey everyone, it's Ethan Ormis back here for another video today, and welcome back to the channel, guys. We're here again for yet another video. Today we're going to be reviewing JID's The Forever Story, which of course came out over a month ago now, so apologies. I've been letting it sit with me, and yeah, now I'm going to talk about it. So yeah, let's get into it. Of course, I'll talk about each song individually, and then I'll give you my overall thoughts on the album. So yeah, let's go. So Galaxy, a pretty chill intro. That's nothing too noteworthy. That's not really something I'm revisiting. It's obviously very short. It's nothing crazy really. So we'll move on to Radar, which is definitely my favorite song off of this album, without a doubt. I think it's kind of slept on. I think it should be the most popular. I just think it's by far the best song that JID made from this album. I think the intro was fire, and then JID comes in with so much energy. His flow goes so well with the beat and the production on the song, which I really love. I love the Avengers Infinity War shout out, or he's got two kind of lines that is directed towards the Avengers and Avengers Infinity War, which of course my favorite movie, so I love that. I love how fast paced this production is. It's really, really dope, and even after the beat change, I think the song low-key gets better. I love the first half beat, but the second half beat I think is even better. So and I love the ominous few piano keys in the second production. I think it's really good, and I think this song is incredible. Either beat, either part, the beat change, I just think it's all great. And this is, like I said, this is my favorite song from the album, and I think it's fantastic. So moving on to Dance Now, I think this song is great. I really enjoy the bum 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 like in the background. I love the beat change for the second verse, and JID's change of flow throughout his second verse is so good. And I love the mixed chorus from JID and Kenny, and I love the unique flow from JID on the chorus. Now, it took me a couple times to really get into this song, which is another reason why I've been waiting so long to make this video. It's because I've been revisiting this album a lot, trying to feel if I can like it any more than my previous listen. Sometimes I like it more, sometimes I like it less. So, with that being said, we'll move on though to Crack Sandwich. This production is pretty dark and a pretty good song. I love the different flows from JID around the 220 mark of the song. If you're listening to this album with headphones, JID's voice goes back and forth between your headphones, which I really like, that attention to detail in production. I think that's pretty cool. I enjoy this song much better every time I listen to it, but it's still not one I'm really revisiting that much. Moving on to Can't Punk Me. I love the fast flow from JID in the first verse, decent features from the Earth Gang members. I wasn't too appealed from the production at first, and I still don't really feel that way. But to be fair, these three do kind of all really play their part very well on this song. And again, similar to Crack Sandwich, where I'm starting to enjoy the song the more I listen to it. Moving on to Surround Sound, which was the lead single to this album, which came out earlier this year, I think in like January or February, maybe a little bit later, but still one of my favorite songs from the album. I love the 21 feature, probably my favorite feature on the album. It's fantastic. It's a great song. I love the slow production, and I love the production change or the beat change in this song as well. I think it's very, very nice. I mean, every 21 feature we seem to be getting is just an absolute banger. It's like an 8 plus on the feature from 21 Savage, and that's no different here in my opinion. Moving on to Cody Blue 31. I'm not a big fan of the song at all. I really don't like the vocalizing throughout the song. I think the song gets better on the second verse when JID starts kind of the singing tone. Although I'll talk more about that later. It's really good there, but apart from that, I'm just not a fan of the song. Slow production change at the end is okay. I'm just not coming to a JID album looking for singing. I love when JID raps fast. I'm not a huge fan of his singing lane, which again I will talk about shortly. But moving on to Bread and M, this song was pretty chill until Dark came in, and the energy that Dirk came in with, I really loved. He's got a really fast flow and tempo to his verse, and it's one of my favorite verses from the whole project. I wouldn't be revisiting the song at all if this Dirk verse wasn't on it, to be honest. I absolutely love his verse. Absolutely shreds it. Moving on to System M. Not a fan of this song at all. It's got a slower, deeper voice from JID, which I don't really care for. Some of the parts of the song I enjoy the vocalization, but overall I'm just not revisiting the song at all, and it's not a song that I've been enjoying. Moving on to Can't Make You Change. I get I get heavy vibes from like a 90s stoners rock band from the production on this song. I think it's a decent song overall, but I'm not a huge fan of the production. I don't really care for Ari Lennox's chorus. I just find it very repetitive. And again, I'm not coming to a JID album or I'm not coming to JID in general for a singing performance. That's just not for me. Yeah, I just don't like that this is basically just an R&B track. I just don't really care for it at all. Yeah, moving on to Stars. Really elegant and beautiful production. I think it's a very underrated piece of production from this album. And I really like what JID does with his voice throughout the song. He's kind of got the mixtures of different tones in his voice, which is really cool. JID's flow in the second verse is really, really good and one I really enjoy. Yeah, I like the transition into Just in Time as well, which is the next song on the album. This song is pretty blah, although I think the transition from Stars to Just in Time is fantastic. I don't like Just in Time at all. I enjoy the fast rapping of JID's verse, but apart from that, just not a fan of it. Wayne's fast-paced part of his verse is really good as well, but again, I'm just not a fan of the slower pace rapping from the two of them. I would just prefer when they're rapping faster. I think these two could have like low-key put a clinic on if they were just rapping at that pace the whole time. Could have been one of the best songs of the year in my opinion. But moving on to Money, I think it's a fine song. It's not a song I'm revisiting. I literally didn't write anything down for the song basically. Just not listening to it at all. Better Days, not a fan of the flow through the chorus from Jonta Austin. Otherwise, a decent song, but again, I'm just not revisiting it. Moving on to Lauder 2. I'm a fan of the production a lot, and the vocalization in the chorus. JID snaps on his verses, and I love the production throughout his verses. This is actually a song that's grown on me quite a bit. This is the outro track to the album, and yeah, again, a song that has grown on me, that's for sure, but overall still nothing too great for me, in my opinion. But with that being said, that's the album. I see a lot of people saying that this is their album of the year, and in my opinion, I just don't agree. There's a lot of skips on this album for me. Again, this is why I've waited so long to make this video. I've been really hoping that that'll change, and I'll really be hearing what everyone else is hearing, but just not for me. Melt My Eyes to Your Future is still probably my album of the year, and yeah, unfortunately, this album just isn't that great in my opinion. I'd say it's a good album. For me, the way I rank albums, movies, and TV shows, I do it on a scale from 1 to 100, or 0 to 100, I guess. And yeah, it would be somewhere in the probably mid-70s for me. So again, I think it's a good album. I don't think it's anything crazy. I'm not a fan of JID singing. It's just not for me. I'm coming to JID's album or a JID song for fast rapping, really. I think that's where he excels the most. I'm just not a fan of his melodic bag. It's just not for me. So, and that's what most of this album is. It's JID kind of diversing into other genres and subgenres of hip hop that it's just not for me. So, I love the experimentation on the album, but again, just not a fan of it overall. So, again, I think it's a good album. Definitely not my album of the year, like most people are saying. But with that being said, guys, let me know your thoughts on this album. Obviously, we've had about a month to sit with it. So, yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.